What's up, guys? Ricky here with another review on the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman vs. Doomsday. And this is a gold label action figure. So, funny thing is I did not pre-order this or anything. I was not necessarily planning on buying it, but I went to Target today and found that and the Yellow Lantern Batman. So I decided, you know what? It does look really cool in person. I'm going to pick it up. So let's look at some of the details really quick. So, got some really cool sculpt on this one. I love this. So good sculpt. You get some decent paint application. If you look real close, you have a gray base layer, then you have a white dry brush over the top, which looks nice. And I might accent it even more because like they put it on certain parts pretty heavy like that, which looks nice. But they also skip parts, so it might be worth kind of going through. It also looks like there we have some type of material from some type of clothes. I assume that's probably supposed to be green or some type of color like that. So that might be worth painting if you feel like doing that. This could also benefit from a black wash for sure, which I am going to do. So I'll post that video later on this channel. So you have a cool belt. Somebody got green pants. Could definitely benefit from black wash as well. Cool green boots. Looking really nice. Okay, and then we have a Superman that is damaged. So if you look at it, so I actually dig the face. Face looks pretty good. It looks like they also did some dry brushing in the hair to bring out some of those textures and details. Looks like you have a tear in the outfit, although that looks like it's just like a stamp. It's not actually built into the texture itself. So I assume they used a previous mold and then just put that on there to make it look like tears and rips. Same thing there. Not a huge fan of that. I would have rather had them put that in the texture and detail, but we'll see when it's posed up. Maybe it looks fine. I do like the torn cape in the back. That looks nice. You know, just a Superman figure. Nothing too fancy there. The normal getup. Then you have some extra hands. Looks like no bases or anything like that it comes with. So I'm sure it does come with cards. But here we go. So here's the side. Here is the back. So you got some pretty cool artwork there. Really digging that. Superman Doomsday. Perfect. Okay, let's open this up, see what we're looking at. Okay, here's a Superman Doomsday 2-pack out of the package, and this is actually a pretty cool combo. I really dig this, so I might even just set them up like this on the shelf. So I think it's pretty cool. But let's look at some of the paint apps a little bit closer now. So if you look here, so obviously like I said earlier, so you have the dark gray and then you have the white dry brushed over the top, right? It just really brings out those textures and details. But like I said, it's done in certain spots, not others. Obviously you have some clothing there that's not painted. Okay, so we get some good stuff there. The jaw does have a little articulation, which is unique. They typically don't do a lot of articulation on the jaws. As you can tell, there's definitely some opportunity for some black washing, like on the horns there, the spikes. I mean, you could literally, and you could also dry brush just like you did here, dry brush a little bit of white on there, and it'll make those pop even better, those details, which I'll probably do, and then I'll black wash it. And I'll probably take some of that white and put it on a few other spots, just because I think it'd look better if it was covered throughout. But looking pretty good. So you have the Superman here. Oh man, I love this cape. This cape is really sick. What it's missing is a black wash though, right? If we were to black wash that and make it look a little more damaged and worn, that's going to look good, so I will definitely do that. I said we could do the same thing with the buckles and the shorts here on Doomsday. Looking good. The only tricky thing about Doomsday is articulation is a little wonky, and I'll talk more about that when we get to the articulation piece. But, right, face looks fine. You got the tears. Like I said, the tears are all stickers, so it's not actually built into the sculpt itself. It's not sculpted in, but I think overall, I think it's actually a pretty good looking Superman. I think for a 2-pack, I think this is a pretty sick combo, so I really do like it. So I'm glad I did pick this up. But yeah, looking nice. And look at the face there. Looking nice. Look at that. Love those eyes. Yeah, all it does is take a little dry brush, right? Looks good. Okay, cool. I like the blood on his face there. Yeah, looks great. Okay, here we go. We got 2 cards here. So we have the Doomsday, Reign of Doomsday. Same artwork that was on the back of the package, looking really, really good there. And here is the data file, so if you want to read about it, you can pause your screen now. Okay, perfect. And then here is the Superman one, so obviously Reign of Doomsday as well. So same artwork that was on the back. And then here is this data file, so if you want to read about it, you can pause your screen now as well. Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go. So the head moves up that far, so not super far. Looks down pretty good, which you'll want it to look down because he has a tall figure. And for the first time I've seen is you have some mouth articulations. That's pretty cool. So closed or open, I dig that. And then you do have a little bit of pivot and rotation. And I don't think... Yeah, there's no articulation here on the ponytail, just FYI. Okay, so arms go up about this far, so not quite 90 degrees. The spikes get in the way there. And then there's quite a bit of a gap here. So as you can see, which is kind of interesting, so you can see the gap. So this thing kind of goes in and out. So that's kind of a weird articulation piece there that I'm not a huge fan of. Then you do have the arms, but super stiff joints, and they're in kind of a weird placement, so you can't do a whole lot with it. So they do rotate, so that's good. But you don't get much crunch there, unfortunately. And this one's even more difficult. And it's not straight either, so it's kind of off to the side, which makes it even more kind of wonky and different. So there's wrist articulation too, but same thing, it's pretty tight. So can't do a whole lot, but you do have rotation. So there you go. So ab crunch actually does ab crunch pretty good down. So you can see ab crunch is up very well, which I've noticed all McFarlane toys, their ab crunch up is super insane, which is nice. You do get rotation side to side, which is nice. And I know some people I think were complaining about it being loose. I don't think it's too loose, but there definitely is a little bit of looseness there. But I don't think it doesn't bother me too bad. So you got the legs go up, about 45 degrees, not too far. You can get them into kind of like the splits, which is nice. Now the rotation is interesting. So you do have a little rotation here, and then you have rotation down here. But that's it. So there's no rotation here or here on the boot, which I feel like there should be. So that's what I was saying, is it gets kind of weird as far as articulation getting in poses. And even this, you have the boot, but it's not straight off, right? So it's off to the side, which makes it really tricky. I mean, there's ankle pivot, but it's tricky to kind of get it in some really cool poses because of the articulation, just a little wonky on it. But overall, as far as a big figure goes, the articulation I think is fine overall. It's just in weird placements. So I don't think it's going to hinder you from getting it in cool positions. I just think it could have been better. But overall, so that's it for Doomsday. Let's grab Superman real quick. And I'm sure he's pretty normal as far as the articulation goes. So you do have head goes up, not too far. The hair gets in the way there, so which is kind of unfortunate for a flying character because you do want their head to go up a little higher. It does look down well. You do have a little bit of a pivot. Like I said, I do like the blood effect there. I think they did a great job. Looks good. Arms go up over 90 degrees, which is nice. You get nice rotation, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and nice wrist articulation. You have an ab crunch. That crunch is not super far forward, but very far back. You do have side to side, rotation there. Legs go up almost 90 degrees, double jointed knees. You do have ankle articulation and pivot and toe articulation as well. So we're also pretty nice there. So I'm going to try to keep him in this position because I like this position quite a bit. But overall, the articulation is pretty standard. The only bummer, like I said, is that the head does not look up very well since he is a flying character. So overall articulation is fair on this one. And with Doomsday, I'd say it could be a little bit better. Okay, so here's a quick size comparison. So we have Sinestro Corps Batman in the middle, and on his right we have the Doomsday damaged Superman from the Doomsday vs. Superman 2-pack. And on the far right we have Doomsday himself. To the left of Batman we have the NECA Yellow Lantern Predator, Sinestro Corps Predator. And to the far left we have a standard Marvel Select action figure, so the Vision. And then behind Batman we have Bane to the far right, and then to the far left in the back we have the Swamp Thing. So I want to differentiate a few other brands, but also some different size figures. So clearly Doomsday is a mega figure, so the fact that it comes in a 2-pack with Superman and Doomsday is a mega figure, that's pretty cool. So let's see real quick. So Batman stands about 7 inches tall, about 7 1/4 with the ears. And that puts us at a solid about 17.5, 18 centimeters. As you can tell, Superman stands a little bit shorter just because of the ears, but overall stands 7 inches tall with the hair. Looks nice. You have Doomsday, who stands roughly with the ponytail about 9.5 inches tall, which puts you at a roughly about 24.5, 25 centimeters. And you can tell, so Doomsday, oops, my bad. So Doomsday is slightly taller than Bane, but they're roughly the same size. So if you have the Bane figure, know that Doomsday is going to be about the same height. Obviously, Swamp Thing trumps both of those, being very, very tall. One of my favorites. So if you haven't checked out my top 10 McFarlane toys so far, and that was made last year, Swamp Thing was on the list. So check that out if you haven't checked it out yet. You have the NECA Predator, obviously stands quite a bit taller than Batman. Batman goes to about his shoulder, which I think is probably pretty accurate. So I'm going to definitely pose those two together since we don't have any other Yellow Lantern yet. And then it looks like the Vision for Marvel Select, the 7-inch scale figure, stands about the same height as well. So as far as size comparisons, I think it fits in well with its own brand, but also the other brands, other 7-inch scale brands as well. So very cool. Okay, final thoughts on Doomsday versus Superman 2-pack. I really like it, actually. So I think, it's a little more expensive. I believe they were $49.99 for 2-packs. This one's $59.99 for 2-packs. So $10 more, but you are getting a mega figure out of it. And I think the Doomsday figure is awesome. So, I had some gripes, obviously the articulation piece, but I think we're still going to be able to get it in some really cool poses. So I think they did really great with the extra paint applications. The sculpt looks amazing, phenomenal. The articulation is not too bad. Like I said, there's definitely some improvements there. The Superman, it's cool to get a damaged Superman, so this could be used in multiple different setups. Doesn't just have to be with Doomsday, obviously. Love the cape, etc. with that, the torn cape. So they definitely benefit from some black wash if we want to make it a little more realistic and bring out some more of those details, which I'm going to do. So stay tuned, and I'll post that video whenever I get that done. But overall, yeah, I think it's a pretty sick setup. So, and it looks way better in person. So, I saw plenty of pictures online, and it was fine. But after seeing it in person, it is a really, really sweet action figure. So, set. So, yeah. So if you find it, I found it today at my local Target. I think they just released. So check out your Target, see what you can find. If not, I'm sure there's plenty of places that are selling it now, online. But thank you all again for tuning in today. Thank you all for subscribing. It looks like we keep continuing to grow this channel. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Definitely helps me out. So, share it, tell your friends. Looking at continuing to see where we can go with this. So thank you all so much, and I will catch you all in the next video.